Shalom, family. So this is going to be a review of the movie The Tomorrow War from a Hebrew Israelite perspective. Right? Okay, first of all, let me say that the movie, it was a good movie. It was entertaining. It was interesting. It was fun. This movie, in some aspects, it reminds me of the Independence Day, the one with Will Smith. And the reason why it reminds me of that is because in that movie, it's also a so-called alien invasion, but the aliens symbolically represent Christ coming back as the second coming with the angels to attack the earth, the wicked of the earth. Right? So this movie, just like Independence Day and many others, it has that symbolism of the aliens attacking the earth and the earth making its last stand against the aliens, right? So let me just say a few things about this movie. This movie had a lot of symbolism, and I'll get to the symbolism. It's really heavy in a lot of places, and a lot of predictive programming. So first of all, let me say, I'll describe some of the predictive programming in it. So first of all, let me say this, the main character is Chris Pratt. You know him from the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. And it's mainly about him and his family. But aside from him and his family, most of the other characters are so-called black people, right? And there's a reason for this, right? So let me get to a little bit of why that reason is. Okay, so there's one character who becomes Chris Pratt's friend. Oh, okay. First of all, let me say this is a spoiler review. This is a spoiler review. So if you haven't watched the movie first before you see this, right? Because I'm going to be giving away some plot points and some information here. So let me tell you about the predictive programming in the movie. So there's one guy who's like this sort of, well, okay, first of all, you're introduced to some in the middle of a soccer game, a bunch of 50 soldiers come from the future into the past, and arrive. They're jumped or portaled into the middle of a soccer game, and the one is a black woman who says, "We are back from the future to recruit for the last stand against the aliens that will attack 30 years from now. That will destroy that will win this attack 30 years from now, and we want we're fighting for mankind, and we want you to join and fight against this alien force, and et cetera, et cetera." And so that woman she's throughout the movie, and she's very masculine, and she's shown as a very masculine woman. And she's masculine in her appearance and her demeanors and how she acts, right? She's the sergeant or whatever, right? And then there's another black man who's he reveals that he's dying of cancer. He'll be dead in 6 months, and he wants to live on his own terms. So he wants to fight these aliens and probably go out in a hail of gunfire and explosions. So he wants to live life on his own terms, right? So that's a predictive programming, because they want our people to be gung ho on whatever war that is coming in the future, and that's the war where in the battle of Jehoshaphat, right, where the scriptures say that the Most High will bring all these people all these nations to fight, and they will be destroyed by our Father, right? And so they want to push for our people to be very patriotic. This film, it pushes a lot of that patriotic American nonsense, right? Like, you got to fight for your country and blah blah blah. We got to take a last stand, blah blah blah. The greatest country, blah blah blah. All those things, right? And there's another black character who becomes friends with the main character, Chris Pratt's character, and he's like a comic relief. Like he's like weak. He's not masculine, and he's just a comic relief side character, right? And so, by having so many black characters in this movie, they're trying to push this patriotic thing on our people, right? So as to join the army and think it's cool to join the army and be patriotic for a country that doesn't treat us properly, right? Doesn't treat us right. Treats us as second-class citizens, right? So let me say some things that are directly from the Bible that you find in this movie. That's why, that's the thing that really, caught me off guard, is how many biblical references are in this movie, right? So I'm telling you that the people who write these movies, they know the scriptures and they know what's going to come to pass, what's going to happen in the future. So they put all these things in the movies. So most people, wouldn't take it as truth, and it's like predictive programming, and to test the waters to see how people react to certain scenarios and things like this. So okay, so in the movie, the Chris Pratt's wife's character says that she works with injured veterans, and she says 30% come back after being drafted, right? And 30%, as we know, is 1/3. That's 1/3. And in the scriptures, it says that 1/3 of the Israelites shall be cut off and died. No, sorry, 2/3. 2/3 of the Israelites will be cut off and died, and 1/3 will make it through. So the wife says that only 30%, which is equivalent to 1/3, come back after being drafted. So that's the first biblical reference in this movie. Second of all, they jump into the future and when they jump into the future, it's the same way that the chosen, or the 144, or the elect, are to be described as being beamed up into the chariots, right? It's like a digital looking portal, that happens where all the characters are dropped into another area, into Miami in this movie. So that's a biblical reference of the being beamed up into the chariots, as it talks about the elect in the scriptures. Okay, and here's a biggest one that made me say, okay, these people obviously know what's in the scriptures, and they're showing that they know what's going on and what's going to happen in the future. So the white spikes, which are these the aliens that are attacking the earth, they take a seventh-day Sabbath. On the seventh day, they retreat back to their nests, right? So this was very clearly stated in the movie that these aliens, on the seventh day, they take a Sabbath, and they take a day of rest, right? So that's what the Israelites were commanded to do by the Most High Power, right? So the only thing you can take from seeing that in a movie is they're letting you know that this fight, aliens versus humans, is Christ and his angels versus the wicked of the earth, as what's written in the scriptures, right? Because why would they just throw that in this movie, that these aliens take a seventh-day Sabbath rest, right? This is Christ and the angels, right? as the Israelites were commanded to take a seventh day rest unto all their for all their generations forever. We're supposed to take a seventh day rest. And so that's blatantly right in the movie, right? So they're telling you, they're talking to you in code, showing you what's up and what's going on, what they know, right? Another part of the movie, the Chris Pratt's character has to lead the team to find 12 vials of a serum in a medical facility. So remember, I told you about the 1/3. That's a reference. The seventh day Sabbath, and now he has to go and find 12 vials. 12 is symbolic to the Israelites because there's 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, right? So why would they pick that exact number to find 12 vials, right? So they're communicating to those that know the scriptures, right? They're communicating to the initiated, those that know the Bible, right? So he gets those 12 vials in Miami and brings them back to headquarters, right? Oh, here's another thing. The queen of the white spikes is the alpha to all the other white spikes. And the white spike aliens, they will attack whoever is attacking their queen. So they'll drop whatever they're doing and they'll go attack whoever is interfering with or bothering the queen. So that means that the alpha represents, that alpha queen spike represents Christ, right? Because Christ is the alpha out of all the angels, right? So the white spikes represent the angels of heaven, and the queen white spike represents Christ, right? So they're speaking to you in code, right? Letting you know what's going on. Oh, and another thing in the movie. So to defeat these white spikes, they plan on using a vaccine or serum. And that's talked about all throughout the movie, right? And that aligns with this vaccination, right? That they're pushing out, especially on our people, they want to push it out onto, right? So that's pointing to you that yes, this is a weapon to attack the chosen, the elect, the chosen seed, right? Because they're using a serum, just as they're doing in real time. They use a serum to attack the white spikes and the queen. Oh yeah, and here's another thing that they show in the movie. After the standoff in Miami, yeah, they jump into the future into Miami, and after the standoff in Miami, you see a horizontal, a panned out view of the city of Miami, and it's all destroyed and it's all on fire, right? So that's a symbolic of the destruction that's coming to America, right? Christ says that he's going to, first there was a flood in Noah's time where Christ destroyed the earth with water, and now the second time he's going to destroy the earth with fire. So that fire, that Miami city on fire, symbolizes America being on fire as it is destroyed by Christ and the angels. And remember, in the book of Revelations, it talks about Christ and the angels destroying the earth in only 1 hour, in under 1 hour, right? So it almost blows your mind that there's so many biblical references in this movie. It's really crazy, like, all the symbology. But people really sit back studying and writing these scripts, knowing exactly what's to come in the future, and knowing the scriptures, having a good understanding of the scriptures. That shows you that these elites, they're studying the scriptures and they're preparing, and they, especially as they use a serum to attack the aliens, right? So that's just metaphorical, right, for using a serum to attack the elect and the chosen seed. So yeah, I just wanted to point out some of the symbolism and metaphors in this movie, and it's really quite quite interesting, right? And it's like I said, it's a good movie. It's entertaining. A lot of hidden messages, right? So really, yeah, check this one out, right? I enjoyed it. So to Israel, stay in the scriptures, keep the commandments, and live. Stay in constant prayer, keep the endurance, and keep the faith. Shalom. Kwame.